Welcome to Real Talk, Real Women. My name is Miriam Khalladi, and today we have artist, writer, and creator of Free Your Soul from Food, Justina Geneviciute, joining us from London. Welcome, Justina. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you so much. Justina, you sent me an email after seeing Laura Marie's interview, who is a friend of yours, and shared your incredible story with me. Thank you for coming on and for sharing your story with our viewers.
Thank you. I'm happy to share. I'm very happy to share.
Thank you. You've been working as a professional trainer and nutrition advisor in London. Where did your fascinating for health and fitness come from?
Well, it comes from, I was it's not like really fat, but I was quite a bigger girl when I was at school. I was taller and a bit bigger. So I used to be bullied when I was a child. And I think because I felt from the early age that I wasn't, fitting in, I started wanting to change myself, and then started like looking into nutrition and exercise and enjoying it. So it comes from quite an early age, because in an early age I understood that I need to change something. So and then the more I kind of got into it, the more it became my passion. And then I decided, even though I was working in the office, I decided that I want to change my career and get into it.
You had a compulsive binge eating disorder for over 20 years. For those watching who aren't familiar with that, can you explain what it is? And is this something that many people have?
Well, I think this is a very big issue, especially in fitness industry. And I just think that we have this stigma, and we think that it's only like people who are lazy, or who don't know how to eat, or they don't understand anything about fitness that have it. But in my experience, as a personal trainer and as a human, as a friend, I saw so many women, friends, and like my clients suffering from some kind of a lot of eating disorder. Because what is the binge eating? It's when you are not feeling good enough. It's when you are feeling like there is something that you still need to change, that there is something, that you can push harder, achieve more, eat better. And you always are in this kind of vicious circle where you're like this hamster trying to go for more and more and more. And then because you're never happy with yourself, you get really disconnected from yourself, and you kind of try to fill that gap that doesn't really exist. And a lot of people go into, like, it's usually like with food, and that's what the binge eating is you are very, very good for a certain amount of time, and then something happens. It's something like, usually it's a negative emotion, like you think, oh, I'm not achieving this, but it's only in your mind, and then what happens is you start getting into this food, and it becomes really, like, really sad and destructing for yourself as an individual.
In your attempt to fix yourself, you actually started reading books, blogs, educate yourself on health and nutrition, and even became a certified personal trainer. But it was never enough. Where do you draw the line between trying to better yourself in a healthy manner, for example by educating yourself, and the point where it becomes forced and unhealthy?
Well, that's the thing. You see, I think healthy is when we listen to ourselves, and that's the thing. I think because especially these days, we hear so much information. We have all these different diets. We have all these different, blog posts, people on Facebook, paleo, we have vegan, we have raw, we have eat little and a little bit here and there. And it's just too much information coming into you. And then I think you just get so lost. You just I've seen so many people, like, you just get disconnected from your own knowing, I mean, healthy living, I believe that, you need to nourish yourself. You need to provide yourself with good foods, be gentle with yourself, and that's when healthy comes in. I don't think that healthy is actually pushing and having these like tiny little meals with 3 asparagus, and I don't think it's healthy. And I think that's when these disorders come into, when people start just living by these rules and not listening to their selves. Because you know what, deep inside of us, we all know what is healthy. Like if you ask yourself, you're not gonna go and buy a croissant, you know, you will go for some foods that nourish you. So that's the line between being so hard and being like healthy.
Right. One thing that stood out in your letter was that you said that in your mind, people were either fat or slim. You stated that train, insane, or remain the same was your motto, and that if you did something that was quote unquote wrong, you couldn't forgive yourself. You strive for perfection. Why is that so dangerous?
That's a good question. Why is it so dangerous? Well, you see, the thing is that, in my opinion, you are already perfect. Okay? So, because we all are like we were born perfect and we will die perfect. And this thing, we just make it up in our minds, this kind of perfection, which doesn't even exist. Like, it's good to be disciplined, and of course it's good to work out and eat healthy. It's not a question. But when you start thinking that you are not enough as you are, you know, that's when this battle begins with yourself. Because if you think you are not enough as you are now, you will never achieve this perfection. Never, because that's how you think in your mind. So in your mind, you always have this gap that you're not good enough, you're not perfect enough, and that's what I think is wrong. You know, it's when you look out. Outside because when you know that you're good enough and that you are perfect, because you are here, you know, because you're human. When you know that, and then from that place you go and exercise and eat healthy, then it's fine, you know. But when you don't know that, you will never get to that place, to that perfection.
You gave the example of when you were a kid and you were bullied to the extent that you were called an elephant. You felt small and not good enough and figured that you needed to fix yourself. A lot of people feel not good enough. When did you learn that in fact you are perfect just the way you are?
Well, I think it's because, you know, I hit the rock bottom, you know, and that's when my eating disorder started and everything, because I was trying to become someone that I wasn't. And I realized that when I was going through a very big, like, spiritual maybe awakening, I would say, you know, because it was so bad. Like, I was so down. I didn't want to see my friends because I felt this elephant, even though, you know, it wasn't, it was just in my mind. And then I just started asking, like, universe, you know, I was saying, okay, if this is how I have to be, let it be, you know, I give it to you. Like, I really, really surrendered. And then I just started like meditating, you know, going more within. So trying, instead of buying another book, because, you know, if you look, like, I have hundreds of books. I have like personal trainer's qualification, nutritionist, everything. I have hundreds of books. And yet the answer that I really needed was within me, not in the books, you know. And I think when I started understanding that I am more than just my body, I know it may sound a bit funny, you know, but it's true that we have this soul that is perfect in all of us, you know, in you and everyone. And when you connect to that soul, then you know that you are perfect enough. That's what I'm talking about, you know, perfection in a way of being this soul that we all have. And once you connect to that place, then you understand that you are enough just as you are.
Let's talk about authenticity. Despite the fact that you realized something wasn't right, you pretended to be perfect to the outside world. How did that affect you mentally? And do you feel that in today's society, with all the glamour magazines, a lot of women try and pretend to be perfect while in fact they are insecure and struggling?
Yes. Well, I guess, you know, a lot of people, like, being authentic and being vulnerable, you know, is scary. And in fact, talking about these things is very scary, you know. Like, when I started talking, people were like, "What?" You know, because I was always this like, really tough on the outside, you know. For me, it was always pushing, 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 like, to the limit. And even though I was pushing to the limit, I never actually even felt that that was in the limit. And so I was putting, this face, of eating right, exercising right. And it was just because I didn't want people to really see my wounds inside, because I was feeling like this elephant, in my mind from the past. And, yes, I think a lot of us, I'm not saying that a lot of people, most of people have eating disorders, but what I'm saying is that, yes, with all these magazines, we try to be a photoshopped person. Like, come on, how can you be a photoshopped person, So it's good to have an example, and of course it's good to get motivated by, fitness models and everything. But we need to understand that, it's not like that perfection. It's not like it only happens for that certain moment, and it's not real. So all these girls, all these magazines, they're not really real, and they also are struggling. Like I also, had some of my clients where amazing looking girls with amazing bodies, and they still are hitting themselves, beating themselves up because they don't look again like a photoshopped something. So I think it's a very, very, very big issue, and I think we need to start finally just saying, it's cool, this is fine, I am as I am, and I'm doing what I can, but it's fine to be me. It's so fine to be me with a bit bigger thighs, maybe with a little bit of fat like on your belly. It's fine, And once you understand that it's fine, you just keep on going forward and making healthy steps.
20 years of binges is a very long time. What was the missing link? What is the one thing that enabled you to break free from this vicious cycle? And what advice would you give women who can relate to your story and want to change?
Mm-hmm. So the missing link definitely was that I got disconnected from who I am. And this may sound, very... weird, but when I was saying that we all are this big soul, that we all have this connection to our inner selves, and once you listen to your inner self, it's that voice inside of you, that says, even though you hate yourself 99%, there is still that 1% inside of you. If you listen, that you will know that it says that you are good enough, and you need to connect. Like for me, the best way really is through meditation, or just listening to some nice music and just really relaxing my mind and going within me. And it's not gonna, if you have an eating disorder, it's not going to happen in an instant. Like it takes time, because eating disorder is basically just self-hate. So if you have 20 years of self-hate, you can't really expect in a day or in a month even to get back to where you really are. But I would say just be gentle with yourself. Just be willing to find another way. Be willing to listen to that voice, because again, maybe that voice is not going to talk to you straight away, but just try to understand. Not even understand, just try to connect to that bigger place that is in all of us. And that's where the miracles happen, because like I say, for me, what happened to me is a miracle, because a miracle is like a change of your perception from fear, from when you feel like ugly and disgusting and fat, to love, when you feel that you are good and you are whole and you are complete. And that change in perception, is when you understand who you are, that you are bigger than your body, that you are this, you have something that is bigger than your physical self. Then you can't really look at the mirror every morning and say, I hate you, you're fat, because you know that this is not who you really are, So like I said, for me, it's connecting your body to your spirit as well, because spirit is perfect, and because we all have it, we are perfect.
You're now binge free. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I know that you now see this experience as a gift that has led you to your true calling. Can you tell us about your newfound mission in life?
Yeah, so as I discovered, and it's a journey. Like I also have bad days, where I'm like maybe drawn a bit more. Like it's like I was saying, it's never gonna be like, oh, one day that's it, nothing happens. It's a journey, and it's little steps. Like I literally now just live one day at a time, instead of beforehand. I used to like 12 weeks in advance plan my meals, plan my workouts, and if I fail on day 5, like I would hit myself so much and beat myself up. But since I recovered, I understood that what I want to do is to help men and women who have the same thing to find that place within themselves and to connect with it and to understand that they are good enough and understand that they are perfect and just be free from all that fear that you are not good enough. So I really felt like this calling inside of me to share my journey and to share my steps with others and just reach out to people who have the same problem. And it's amazing because I keep on finding these people, and it's so amazing when you can say I understand you, and it's okay, it's okay that, because it's a very lonely thing as well. You think that it's only you that you have it, but it's so wrong because there are so many people suffering from it. So I'm here to share my story and to help.
And you're doing a great job, Justina.
Thank you. Thank you.
Where can people go to connect with you online?
Well, at the moment, I have my blog, which is actually from my personal training days, but I'm still using it at the moment. It's called myfithotbot.co.uk. So, yeah, I usually put my blog post there and just share my experiences and my steps through life as I'm dealing with this recovery.
And I will make sure to put the link below this video.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Is there anything you feel we've missed that you would like to cover today?
No, I just want to say, thank you so much for having me, and I really hope, that people, I'm gonna cry, just understand, that they are important, and I'm sorry. That it's okay to have some story that is it's okay to have a story. We all have stories, but we just need to let it go and just be ourselves and know that we have space in this world and that we are good enough.
I believe that the message today is that regardless of how great, of how long your struggle has been, it's never too late to break free from that shackles. We can all connect with our true self and live a life of purpose, realizing that you are good enough just as you are. Thank you so much, Justina, for your inspirational story.
Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you so much for watching. My name is Miriam Khalladi, and I will see you on the next episode of Real Talk, Real Women.